Whether Christians can lie. I followed the principle to try to never lie. Why? I considered the words of Jesus Christ, Matthew chapter 10 verses 32 to 33, "Whoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven." And Mark chapter 8 verse 38, "Whoever therefore shall be ashamed of me and of my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, of him also shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels." I reasoned this way: if I would be allowed to lie by God, then instead of denying Christ before men I would just prank them saying that I am an unbeliever when I want to hide my faith. It is just a small prank, isn't it? But in this case the words of Jesus would make no sense. I would in fact easily deny Christ before men whenever I want to. I know that words of Jesus make sense, therefore this variant to prank people is excluded and I should not lie, I concluded. Thus I followed the principle to never say any lie. Further, I invented a particular explanation why to never lie, 2 Timothy 2-5, "And if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully." I interpreted it this way: whatever I do, if I say even one lie word, I violate the rules of the competition and God won't reward me whatever success I'd reach. That is, if I don't lie for 1 month, I'd receive the reward for my deeds in this month, but if I lie in the middle of the month even once, the month is broken in 2 halves and God would reward me only for these deeds who fit into one of the halves of the month. For example, if I do a scientific research spanning the whole month, even if I earned $1 trillion for mankind, God would not reward me for this good deed as I violated the rules of the heavenly competition. I furthered this even further: the life is like a chess and it makes no sense whatsoever to play chess violating the rules. You could easily win over the chess champion if you'd allowed to violate the rules, but it makes no sense to play without any of the rules. God does not delight in us playing without the rules, as this makes no sense in the heavenly warfare. Playing chess violating the game rules would be quite a useless spent of time, wouldn't it? But what exactly it means to never lie. Is using a word he or she to a different object than usually implied a lie? For example, if I'd say, "See this man walking with a dog, he never said a lie." If I'd mean the dog saying he in this phrase instead of the man, would it be a lie? If I'd say, "This was said not by the President of Russia," meaning that Putin did say it but he is not a president but a dictator, I don't consider in this lecture whether it is good or bad to be a dictator, would this saying be a lie? If I lie to an animal, like saying, "Cat, there is a meat to eat for you," when there is no meat, would this be a violation of God's law? And if I lie to a computer, press "I agree with the license" if I don't agree, is this a lie? My explanation was, it is like chess, one may put the figure in the middle of 2 cells, say something middle between a lie or not a lie. It will qualify or not qualify for the God's warfare if this shows a good idea of a chess move. Finally, angels decide if to consider it a lie or not dependently if they learned something by watching my honesty. That was my philosophy. What are the fruits of this philosophy? Because of not understanding where is the border between lie and not lie, I decided to try to be as honest as possible. For example, I decide that to be sure I don't violate the commandment of Jesus to not be ashamed of him, I will say everything about my faith as is, without denying anything. As Russians call Protestants sectarians, I will say the truth in their own language and call myself a sectarian whenever the conversation touches this topic every time I wanted to explain the reasons of my actions or thoughts. I am not stupid, I understood the consequences. Russians hate so-called sectarians just like as fascist Germans hated Jews. I decided to die of hunger because nobody in Russia would want to speak with me, as no speaking, no way to get food. Another example, when I was the first-year student of a university, I discovered a new math formula. After this I concluded it would be a hardcore lie to say I am not a genius. Many Russians follow the principle we do not need geniuses. Well, it is just like as to follow the principle we do not need Jews. If geniuses are not needed, then Jews that is geniuses can be fired without a legal reason, beaten, killed by hunger. I am a genius, therefore I will most likely die of hunger, concluded I. This made the situation even more complicated. To survive I need to cease to be a genius. How to do this? I was thinking to beat myself by the head with something heavy to cease to be a genius and to absolutely uselessly die from hunger. I was stopped only by 1 Corinthians 3:18, let no man deceive himself. I decided that I will not deceive my brain by something heavy. Moreover, as Russians almost wholly consist of hedonists and carrierists, they hate people who want to do good for others. If I am hated, I can do no good, they prevent me by depriving me of money and in many other ways. So to do good I need not to be hated, not to be hated I need not to want to do good. Conclusion, to do good I need not to desire to do good. I was confused, should I become a petty, traitor, greedy man? I need this to do some good. If as a punishment for following the gospel and desiring to do good, I will be beaten by the head, won't I become for example a mad killer or rapist? Note that now I think that the soul of human is a backup copy of his brain, the mind of a man is located in the brain, so destruction of the brain may cause a human to become bad, even despite he has the soul. So, isn't desiring to do good a bad thing? In short, I was on the enemy territory, with a fascist government, with an enemy army dislocated in the nearest military unit, with the local church being an enemy sect. Yes, they want me to say I am not a genius, because they otherwise consider me too proud to have relations with me and therefore don't want to feed me with food. A related quote from the Bible, Matthew chapter 23 verses 33 to 36. You serpents, you generation of vipers, how can you escape the damnation of hell? Why, behold, I send to you prophets, and wise men, and scribes, and some of them you shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall you whip in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city, that on you may come all the righteous blood shed on the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zacharias son of Barachias, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. Truly I say to you, all these things shall come on this generation. In words of Jesus, wise men means geniuses in the modern language. So, Jesus sends into cruces geniuses but they are consistently starved to death. That church is called the generation of vipers by Jesus. Finally, I found what I thought as a solution. I need to reject the gospel in the same way as we rejected the Old Testament. I tried to invent a new religion founded on the denial of the gospel. I thought, I no more need to confess the gospel before men, so now I am a free man, and I will receive a very great reward in the heaven for this. This was founded on the denial of the commandment not to be ashamed of Jesus and the gospel before men. But later I read that Bible fragment more carefully, Matthew chapter 10 verses 28 to 33, and fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a farthing? And one of them shall not fall on the ground without your Father. But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear you not therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. Whoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. The reason why we should not deny Christ before men is not honesty, it is fearlessness. We should be not afraid of people. The soul is a backup of the brain. Whatever they do with our body and brain, the soul cannot be harmed by this. So we have nothing to afraid, Jesus teaches. Bible does not say don't lie, but says don't be afraid very many times. It is our own invention, the commandment don't lie. It is not biblical. Shagging the reason why I try to follow the commandment changes what I exactly do. If I try to follow these words of Jesus because of fearlessness, not because of an attempt to be super honest, I won't have a reason to say to everybody that I am a sectarian, even if I am not asked to. I don't advise you to become a liar. We should strive to be similar to God, Ephesians chapter 5 verse 1, and God and Jesus never lie. So we trying to follow Jesus should also try to lie as little as possible. But to strive not to be a liar doesn't mean not to be a liar at all. What's about Revelation of John chapter 21 verse 8, but all liars shall have their part in the lake which burns with fire and brimstone. The word used here in the Greek original of the Gospel means rather not liar but more something like a cheater. This word is used to denote false apostles. I'd say it means a spy that is untrue, a double agent or like this. It means a human who does not really do his mission, not just a liar. In Revelation chapter 21 verse 8 this word cannot mean a liar, because otherwise all people would go to the hell, because Rom 3-4 every man a liar. If every man is a liar and all liars go to the hell, then all men go to the hell. It is not so. Sometimes you should lie. If you a Jew and fascists killing every Jew ask you whether you are Jew, if you are a secret agent on the enemy territory, if you are fired from the job and die of hunger after saying a truth, etc. Another reason I decided in the past to never say a lie is that the gospel being translated from Greek means the correct news. The correct news obviously cannot contain any lie. So the gospel implies to never lie. Yes. The gospel implies to never lie. But we should not live by the law. Romans chapter 3 verse 20. Therefore by the deeds of the law there shall no flesh be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin. We should lay aside the laws of the gospel whenever necessary. Otherwise, we are not justified. Now please comment below this video, what do you think the word of the Bible 2 Timothy 2-5 and if a man also strive for masteries, yet is he not crowned, except he strive lawfully. Mean. If to strive unlawfully does not mean to lie, what then may it mean otherwise? What are the rules of the heavenly chess, which the angels strive to learn to play in? You may believe me or not, but for about a month when I was about 17 years old, God made me sinless. My brain was transformed into a computer, my muscles became so strong that I was able to throw a truck or break a concrete wall. Once a karateka attacked me and I, not being used to the fact that I have the force, threw him to a concrete wall. The wall was smashed like a glass and of the karateka only a spot of blood remained. More importantly, during this month I being a powerful computer learned a tremendous amount of scientific knowledge by calculating in mind. After that I forgot it. I cried half of a year about the loss of power and intellect. But computers can be stupid too. While being a computer I still followed stupid unreasonable honesty. What did I invent? I hypnosed people, making them to ask me only convenient for me questions so that I could without a trouble honestly answer to anything they say. I was going this way to set control over the whole mankind, making people to conform to my stupid honesty, making them to conform to my purposes. A funny dictatorship, yeah? Finally, a quote from the Bible, Ephesians chapter 4 verse 25. Why putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. So, among ourselves, the saints, we to say each other truth only. To know more about amazing Bible teachings, subscribe to this YouTube channel. To help the knowledge of the Bible and the gospel truth to spread, press like button and also donate by clicking support in the channel header. God will reward you for the donation. Let God bless you. This online Christian sermon video was prepared by the evangelical preacher Victor Porton to help you with Bible study.